Hello, this is John, host of the Prepared Mind channel. Welcome. We've got an exciting video to watch here. But before we get started, I want to thank everyone, all the new subscribers, for finding the channel, for clicking subscribe, for sharing with friends, and for giving it a thumbs up. I recommend all prepper channels, every video you see, give them a thumbs up at the very least when you stop on by. That way YouTube gets to press forward with more prepper videos and giving us higher ratings. All right, so there's a lot of consternation, there's a lot of concern, a lot of debate and rhetoric that flies when it comes to when shit hits the fan. What are you gonna do, right? Why are you gonna do it? Who is gonna do what, right? We've got a nation, a world full of people, and everyone has their own idea of what they need to be doing in order to get through this event. Now, one of the things about discussing shit hitting the fan is you never know how fast it's going to accelerate. For example, Hurricane Katrina, very fast, right? Everything was just destroyed instantly, and it was chaos. It erupted. Okay, down in Venezuela, they have a long, protracted slide from where they were to their version of chaos, which is everyone trying to figure out how to survive together in a third world country. So there's different variations, and there'll be things everywhere in between. So I'm going to go through day 1 through day 4 of shit hits the fan. Don't worry about whether it's day 1, day 2, day 3, or week 1, week 2, week 3. Okay, what we're looking at is a progression of events, and we're looking at what different groups will do concurrently or at the same time, so you can think about your plan. And once again, this isn't about my plan is the right way and my idea is the only way and it's my way or the highway, or I'm the expert, listen to me. All I'm presenting are some ideas for you to consider, and you can incorporate into your plan, and you can share with people in your group. Because it's really at this point about planning and discussing and thinking. It's not about who's right and who's the expert, who's the boss. A lot of people think of prepping kind of like it's surviving. Well, if you can't make it through the first couple of days or the first couple of weeks, there's not going to be any surviving for you, because you're going to get, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get shot. You're going to get killed. You're going to have all your stuff taken, right? The things that we don't want as preppers to happen, which we try and plan for, right? So we say you need food, water, shelter, clothing, defense. You don't want to get 2 days in and have someone steal all your food, right? Man, your whole plan is out the window. Now you're going to be scavenging and doing who knows what in an improvisational attempt to survive, because at that point you will be surviving. So the idea is to take your entire plan, your group, and all its resources, and keep them intact throughout the entire SHTF event, whether it's a week, a month, whether it's a whole year of total chaos and uncertainty, much the way Venezuela is dealing with. So let's do this. Let's take a look at a board. I've drawn up a board. And we're going to assume, for the purposes of discussion, that day 1 is a day, and day 2 is a day, but day 1, shit hits the fan. Complete power outage, the worst shit hits the fan imaginable. A nuke went off in some city on the other end of the country, right? But you have chaos has erupted in your city, right? Everyone is panicking. That's kind of what we're looking at, okay? Nobody knows what happened. Everyone's scared to death. It's kind of like 9/11, only 10 times worse, because the country is coming apart at the seams. So that is the foundation that I'm going to set for talking about the board I've drawn up, so we can look at it and see what different players are doing. Okay, and once again, this isn't the way it has to happen or it's going to happen. This is a look at a way it can happen. And we're going to talk about the people, the players in it, and the why. Why are they doing this? How are they doing this? That sort of thing. Okay, and we can start some discussion. So let's grab the board here. All right, the old white board. All right, so shit hits the fan, day 1, right? Chaos has erupted. Over here on the left is you. Okay? The other players in this are the government. That includes law enforcement, bureaucrats, the people you will see in an emergency situation. Okay, peeps. I just wrote peeps, right? For the people, just other people, non-preppers. And then MARA, that's the marauders. Okay, gangs, ruffians, the criminal element. There we go. Let's just call them the criminal element. Okay. So over here on day one, shit is gone ape shit, right? Bat shit, ape shit. It's off the hook. Instantly, do you bug in or bug out? This is where your plan comes into play. Whatever your plan is, once you've established that shit has really hit the fan, that it's gone south and it's not looking pretty, you've got to get your group together, right? And figure out how you're going to execute your plan, right? Is it go now, or whatever your plan is? It's time to decide, choose. Some people have said, well, they have multiple plans, right? If it's this type of shit, it's the fan, they're going to bug in. If it's another type, they'll bug out instantly and then come back in a day. Whatever your plan is, you're deciding which way to go. Day one, government. And I stated this a few videos back. It's very important to note that government knows who you are as a prepper. They know who you are politically. They know what your belief system is based on your emails, your tweets, based on the videos you watch, the magazines you get. And a lot of people say, I don't believe that they're that organized. In a lot of ways, they're not. But if the communists during the Bolshevik Revolution knew who to go after 100 years ago without computers, do you think that today's government could figure it out and keep a very simple list of who they need to get? If the Nazis, prior to World War II, and then as they invaded country after country after country throughout the European continent, if they knew who to go after and they had lists compiled on stacks of paper and they systematically went after everyone, don't you think it's believable that the government we have today, with all its computer power and networking and communication ability, is going to know who you are, who the preppers are? Now, depending on your area, depending on the size of the government, depending on the ratio of people to the government, or should I say, the size of the town you live in, they're either going to consider you an ally, they could consider you an enemy. Literally an enemy. Okay? That is the threat. And we all have to decide for ourselves, right? Based on what we know of the government in our area, who we're dealing with. Day one, when shit really hits the fan, government is going to remove its threats. There's a lot of fear within the government that there are anti-government, anarchist elements, that there are people who want civil war, who want to come in and instantly fight the government, to take vengeance on the government, to do any number of ridiculous things to the government. So the government wants to remove any and all threats. And with the Patriot Act and the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act, the government at the federal level has put right-wing groups, and this is of course under a left-wing administration. They consider anything that is right-wing, fundamentalist Christian, fundamentalist constitutionalist. They believe that they are a threat, and the government is going to want to remove you. Day one. The same way, down in New Orleans, the chief of police came out on the news and says, we're going to collect the guns. Nobody will have guns. We're going to get all the guns. He was very clear about it. Very, very clear about it. Okay, so day one, you've got to decide what you're doing because the government already knows what it will be doing. It will have to muster its troops. It'll have to decide what the threat level is and then decide what it's going to do and then go about executing its plan. So preppers and the government are concurrently getting together and deciding what to do. Prepper groups, government groups, they're going to decide what to do. Now, the people, they aren't acting as a group, as a cohesive unit. They're not a homogenized thinking force. They're a bunch of independent dipshits. When shit hits the fan, they just go bonkers. Whatever it is they need at the moment, or the thing that crosses their mind, that's what they do. So they're going to run and try shopping. Right? They don't know what to do. They're going to try shopping. They're going to consult their prepping ideas. Okay? They're not altogether on top of things, right? If they were, they would be preppers too. And then we come over here to marauders, right? The criminal element. Day one, if shit hits the fan, they're probably going to be partying. They're going to be celebrating the demise of civilization and law and order. What are they really going to be doing? Who knows? Are they going to be joining the people somewhat in the shopping spree? Yeah, possibly. Possibly, but I think they're just going to have a good old time. They're going to laugh their criminal asses off. Okay, so that's day one. And again, this isn't an exact timeline. This is just an idea to help us think about what we need in our individual situations, how quickly we need to act, how we need to think of different groups and people, the different players. Okay, so let's go to day two of supreme shit is at the fan. Right, the power is still off. Some people have some radios. They've heard there was a nuclear bomb. The nation's in turmoil. There's no coordinated effort on any level that's appreciable. Everything's being handled locally. Your group, on day two, will need to have executed its plan. Right? Get all of your members together. Right? Whatever your plan is, you say, and go, and you do it. Okay? The government is going to, on day one, as soon as they get their act together, remove threats. Day two, they're going to pull the Hurricane Katrina plan. They're going to start gathering up the guns. And in a severe, and again, we're talking about a very severe, very quick, very powerful SHTF, right? The shit really splatters the fan. In fact, it knocks that fan right over. Okay, they're gonna gather guns. They're gonna remove things that are a threat to them, and they're gonna gather food, resources like medical supplies, water, anything they can, water purification systems. They're going to want that stuff because they're going to say they're gathering it to protect the people. They need to do that, right? They need to find out what resources are available so they can plan things out. If they knew what to do, they'd have done it already themselves. They wouldn't be coming to take it from you. But that's how government works. That's how it has always worked. They don't let people keep their own stuff. Okay. So on day two, what are the people doing now? They're looting. They're looting. They're going to stores. The stores are now sold out. They're going everywhere they can. The power's out, so businesses have their doors shut. Right? People usually end up looting. They kind of join with the criminal element. I'm not saying all people who aren't preppers are going to loot. I'm just saying the people in general are going to loot. The other people, they're going to panic. They're going to be sitting there like helpless knuckleheads. They have no idea, no clue what to do. Right? Their chance to shop went by them. They look in their cupboards, they have just a few days of food. Right? Just like we all do. We just have just a few days of food. So looting will take place. Basically, an increased intensity level in the search for resources, including firearms, including clothing, including anything that they think is of value. Right? The less intelligent and more criminal the mindset of the crowds, the more they'll go after things like televisions, even though there's no electricity and it's a severe SHTF. They're going to still do things like that, just because they're not all that bright. Okay? And then, of course, marauders. They're going to go into full-scale, let's just call it stealing mode. They're going to steal from businesses. They're going to steal from people. They're going to steal the will of people, right? They're going to start influencing those areas in their neighborhood. There's not going to be a government presence So the marauders are going to start to feel empowered, emboldened. This is when they'll really become a threat. About day 2 in a severe SHTF. Remember, that's where we're operating from, the notion that this is a very fast-moving, very aggressive apocalyptic event that has occurred. So we get to day 3, okay? Day 3, your group, the prepper group, is in full defense mode. You realize, right? Everyone sits there and you're all shaking your head going, yep, it fucking happened. Here we are, right? We've got our food, we've got our water, we've got our defense, we've got our plans, we've had our training, right? We've all come together and decided, yeah, this is it, right? It is full defense mode. It is basically your self-preservation, is on the line. On the line. So it really becomes day 3, every man for himself, every group for themselves. The government's going to go into damage control. They're going to realize that their efforts to remove threats and gather guns and food have paid off in some ways. In other ways, it's hurt them. Because people aren't going to willingly give up their guns. I don't think so. Not again. Hurricane Katrina taught some very valuable lessons to people. That when something bad happens, the government is not on your side. Okay, the people that went to the Superdome, they weren't very happy. People that had a visit from the police, from the military, from the National Guard, they were not real happy with what happened. And it's really too bad that everybody doesn't get to know the whole truth about what happened in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. But on day 3, they're going to go into damage control. They're going to step back because things are going out of control fast. Government's going to have to decide if it can continue to operate. What does the government need? It needs people. It needs fuel. It needs food. It needs water. It needs everything else that everyone else has. And unless the government itself is provisioned or stocked, prepared in other words, it's going to have a very hard time controlling itself and controlling the situation. Which really, as a shit-it's-the-fan situation, it is out of control. Okay, we go to the people. They are in full-blown riot and panic mode by day 3. No power. Government's out of control. Neighborhoods are burning. Right? The marauders are attacking others. Right? They have realized that the government has stepped back in damage control. And that they can do whatever they want over here in the criminal mindset land. Now, where do we have evidence of this at? And again, I like to look back on history and see what people were doing. Down in the LA riots, the police backed off. Okay, store owners, especially the Koreans, they got a lot of good press for this, right? They had to defend their property against the rioting and the panicking and the criminal elements that were trying to take their stuff, trying to burn their businesses. And they defended themselves, much like preppers in full defense mode would, right? But these guys over here, while these people are rioting and panicking, the criminal element is doing everything they can to increase their power. Because if you think about criminals, what they're looking for is an opportunity. They have the need or the want. They want food, they want power, they want to get away with their lifestyle. They really do. They want to get away with their lifestyle. Criminals are very plain speaking when it comes to that. They want to get away with their lifestyle. They don't like being told what to do. Hence, criminals. They have no respect for other people, their property, their rights, anything. That's why they rape, steal, destroy property, both public and private. They're the criminal element. Okay? The people are rioting. They're panicking. They don't know what to do. They've got nothing going on. So, shit has hit the fan, day 3. Right? The government is pulled back. They're trying to decide what they're going to do because they can't control the situation. Preppers are in full defense mode. criminals are going and doing their business, right? They're consolidating their power and starting to step out. And the public are left to defend themselves, and they are in full riot and panic mode. Let's get to day 4. Day 4, you, the prepper, you know where the bear shits in the wood, right? You know the price of tea in China, right? It's impossibly high because you can't get it. It is game on. 100% game on day 4. Everyone's alert. Everyone's awake. Everyone realizes it's for keeps. The police, in my opinion, day 4, unless they have food and water, they're going to go into self-preservation mode. This is where I talk about the police that I've talked to personally, the law enforcement personnel. They themselves have shit-it's-the-fan bug-out plans. They could bug out on day 1 or day 2 or day 3, but let's just assume that they've made it to day 4. Well, day 4, they're going to say, fuck it, right? Because everything is shot. Okay, power out, no food, no gas, no this, no that, right? It is gone. They're going to go into self-preservation mode. The government is. If they've got food, they're going to sit on it. They're not going to distribute it to the people. They won't. Why? They're worried about themselves. That's why the government has things called COG, continuity of government. All government cares about is itself. Essentially, it's a group of people. The government is. They're government workers. That's what government is. It's made up of government workers. And what are they concerned about? Themselves. Preserving themselves. Preserving their power. Preserving what they have as the result of that power. The gathering of food, fuel, water, weapons, everything that we consider extremely valuable, they do too. And they're going to want to go into self-preservation mode if they have those things. If they don't, they're probably going to bug out. Or anywhere along the line, members of the government will bug out. Okay? As far as the people go, day 4, you've got just absolutely fucking complete and total chaos. There is no hope for them. They're on day 4. There's no food. There's no water. There's no milk. They don't know what to do. People are shooting each other out of stupidity. People are starting fights. They're accusing each other of everything under the sun. People are morons on any given day. After 3 full days of shit hitting the fan, what do you think they're going to start with on day 4? They're going to be sleep deprived. They're going to be worried to death. Day 4, chaos reigns in the streets. And what are the criminal element, the marauders, going to do? They're going to hunt for people and food and guns. They're going to expand their turf. They are going to start hunting. Hunting for the things they need. Now, the question really is here, as a prepper, when will the people in your neighborhood remember what you are? Remember that you're a prepper. Remember that you're a hunter, that you have a generator, that you're that guy that shows up and has lots of boxes from the supermarket, right, a Costco or a Sam's Club. You're the guy that gets strange shipments from UPS or FedEx, right, a pallet of this, right? You've got guns, you do a lot of shooting at the shooting range. That's when I say, or why I say, day 1, day 2, government's going to be looking at you. Government's going to be looking at prepper groups and preppers. And you are a primary target to take out early on because they don't want you organized. They don't want you in full defense game on mode. They need to beat you to the punch. And if they take you out, they get your food, your water, your resources, and they've removed a threat. They may try and recruit you and say, hey, come to work for us, help the government maintain control, we'll give you your food, right? They're going to give you your stuff. They may conscript you. Okay, but let's look at the people. You know, day 1, they're shopping. You know, they're trying to buy their own food. They're trying to figure out what to go. Day 2, you know, there's looting starting to go on. But some of the smarter regular people, they're going to remember you, right? They're going to go, hey, I think Billy Bob is one of those preppers. He's got a bunch of those quads down there. I see he has guns. I think he's one of those survivalist types. And I see all that camouflage. He's got camouflage on his truck. Right? He's got a bumper sticker in the back that says NRA. I have a funny feeling that Billy Bob is a prepper. And this is when I did the video and talked about how the hordes will hunt preppers when shit hits the fan. The people at some point, day 3, when they're panicking, they're going to do the same thing that the government does. They're going to start looking for resources. They know that they're in big trouble, and they're going to go find you. You'd better be in full defense mode at that point. Whatever your plan is, you better be set up, willing, and prepared to take full defensive measures against everybody and everything, because you've got to preserve yourself. Day 3, the lights haven't come back on, the food trucks aren't rolling in, right? Disco is not playing on the radio. You know shit has hit the fan and it's here to stay. So you can see at different times during the process, you'll be doing your thing. Government will be doing their thing. The people will be busy fucking up. And the criminal element will be busy being criminals. But at some point, at all times, someone's going to be looking at you as a prepper. You are a target, starting on day 1. Like it or not. Now, I know why that idea makes so many people uncomfortable. Because you don't want to believe that your government would do that to you. You would expect somebody in the government, instead of trying to punish you, say, hey, kudos, Billy Bob, you did great. Good job. We're going to protect you and make sure you make it because you've got lots of food. You've got lots of weapons, and we really like you because you're so smart. You would expect your neighbors to just run by, give you the peace sign, and move on, right? You would expect criminals to go, don't fuck with those guys, they've got their shit together. But that's not what's going to happen. The government considers you a threat. Right now, in peacetime, while the shit hasn't hit the fan. Do you think their attitudes are going to improve when shit does hit the fan? Do you believe for a second they're going to give you a break? I mean, these are fair questions to ask. You, as a prepper, have spent a month, a year, 5 years, 10 years. You could be like me, back to the 80s, prepping, learning survival, joining the military. I go through all of this effort my whole life. Not my whole life hasn't been to prep, but my whole life has been to live well, live intelligently, and be prepared. Kind of like a Boy Scout, if you will. I don't want to have gone through all of this exercise just to have some asshole show up and go, hey, John, just come on out, give us your stuff, go get in line down at the FEMA camp. Nice job. No, that's not what the purpose is. So preppers, yeah, you're like, no, I didn't do all of this. I didn't plan it, think about it. I didn't go through all the trouble. I didn't make the personal sacrifice just so that on day 1, the government can show up with a post office van to take all of my stuff from me. That's very irritating to a lot of people, and it has led a lot of people to say, that's why I'm going to bug out. I'm going to take all of my shit and I'm going to fly the coop. I'm going to get out of the danger zone. That way no one can come for me. That's what gives this plan, the bug out idea, so much merit, is you gather your stuff and you get the fuck out of Dodge. GFOD. You get the fuck out of Dodge. And you take your stuff so you know it's yours. And you're going to another place that presumably is better protected, isolated, etc. That's the idea. That's the hope. You know, that's the idea. That's the hope. That's the wish, right? It's the prepper dream, is to escape the chaos and make a better time of it. But day one, the government's coming after you. Now, if they don't, you win. If you're ready for it, if you know that that's a possibility, if you plan a contingency to deal with it, whatever your contingency is, I don't think I need to know, but whatever your contingency is based on how you feel about your local government and your local law enforcement, or any state government in the area, or any federal government in the area, any military in the area, you've got to take it all into consideration. Any gangs in the area, right? You've got to see yourself as a target, and not just an average target or a normal target. You are a rich target. And by rich target, I mean the value for taking your resources is an extremely high reward. So kicking in doors on average people day one isn't going to provide the resources government wants. It's going to want to disarm people, and it's going to want to take their resources. It's going to want to remove any element that may stand against it. It is for that reason that preppers are a primary target on day one. And again, if you don't believe it and nothing happens, fine. Hey, John, your information was of no value. If you think there's a possibility of that being true for you in your group, plan a contingency. If it doesn't come to pass, hey, once again, you win. But you've had the plan in place, and it can be applied equally to other groups that want the same things. I don't think the marauder groups are going to show up and ask for your granola bars. Right? That's not what they're after. They're after everything you have. Right? Do the marauder groups think of you as a prepper group and therefore a danger to their turf? Not really. They just see you as a fucking snack. Right? That's all they see you as. Whereas government is much more sophisticated, has lists, has time, it has an agenda, and it knows what it wants to do in an emergency, and it executes its plan. That's why I think as a prepper, day one, day two, maybe day three, your biggest threat is your own government. And I'm talking about a severe shit hits the fan. Now, if you want to look at countries like, let's go down to Venezuela, a very a notably popular country to talk about because of the state they're in. Can you imagine after, 8, 9, 10 months, 12 months, 2 years, who knows how long they've been slipping into oblivion? If you had a shipping container packed with long-term food storage, and the starving people in the city around you knew you had it, do you think that they would ignore that? Do you think that they would go, oh, yep, that's Jose. Jose did a good job planning. We're going to leave him alone. Kudos to Jose, right? No, they're going to say, let's go fucking get Jose, right? The smart motherfucker. We're going to knock him upside his head and take his shit. Same with the police. The police are trying to maintain law and order down there the best they can for whatever good the police there are. I have no fucking clue, and I don't want to go down and find out. But the police down there, or the government, the bureaucrats, they want the same thing. If they find out Jose has a shipping container full of Mountain House, they're going to go knock on the door and do the old tax collector here for your food thing. So as preppers, we have to understand that the potential is very real. Whether it's the government or whether it's hordes of people, they will hunt you. You are a target. You're a rich target. Even though you are a porcupine, you're a porcupine that's flavored like bacon. So they'll be thinking of you. I think I've covered this pretty good. I wanted to basically exhaustively cover the situation, cover the scenario. What can you do about this? The best you can do is plan. You can hope for the best, eliminate variables, train, develop thinking skills, critical thinking skills. Understand the neighborhood, the area, the region you're in, what government agencies are there. Right? Get an idea of the natural resources that are in your immediate area and the surrounding area. And while there may be nothing of high value in the immediate area, the surrounding area may have something, like a cattle or a river of water, a body of water that may have fish in it, say a salmon run. So while your immediate area isn't rich, it could be not too far away that there's some natural resources. But then again, those natural resources are also going to cause people to come there, congregate there. So there's a plus and a minus to a lot of different things. And once again, I'm not going to tell you how to get through this. I'm not going to tell you what to do in any given moment. Right? I'm not that survival guy that knows all this shit so well. He's going to tell everyone what to do in every situation at any given moment. Because he's Gary Kasparnik, right? Or who are these chess players that can play 7 or 8 games at once, or 10 or 12 or 20? They're amazing. Anyways, I'm not that guy. I'm telling you, you need to think of your plan. What I've done is present a scenario to you, talked about some of the players, and then said, what do you do, right? We know who, we know what has happened, we know why they're going to do what they're going to do, these players. You have to decide what you're going to do about it, how you're going to go about doing it, and when, in chronological order, you'll take the steps that you feel necessary to successfully traverse a shit it's the fan event. I want to thank you for everything. I want to thank you guys for watching this if you made it this far. Yeah, I think I pretty much covered it. All right. So if you've watched the whole video, the magic word that you can use in your comments is suburban. If I see suburban in there, whether we're talking about the vehicle or suburbia, right, suburbs, that means you watch the whole thing and you're having fun. That's one of the fun little elements I've enjoyed putting in the video is the magic word. It's just a fun little way we can communicate in the comments when I get over there. And speaking of that, I try to get over there as much as I can. As you can see, this video is almost 40 minutes. I'm exhausted. I've got to get some rest and then get up and do it again. And there's one more thing. At the end of the video, there's some little things come up on the screen. One of them is my icon, the Viking. I believe it's over here. And what it'll do is, if you click on that, it should subscribe you automatically. Over in the other corner is a little icon of Canadian Prepper. And then there's a video that's recommended, I believe, down here. Canadian Prepper, I've communicated with him occasionally via email. He is a very intelligent man, very generous with his intelligence. He's very good at passing his information along. He's got a very polite manner about himself. He's very confident, very intelligent, very thorough, and he does a lot of training and gear type videos. He does some psychology videos as well. A lot of things kind of like I do, but he does a lot more different things. So I really believe that he is a great site to go to for different types of information. I don't think he's going to steer you wrong, even though he's from Canada. It's fun to tease the Canadians. It's like the 51st state that doesn't want to be a state, but sure wishes they had guns. Anyways, Canadian Prepper, if you want another great prepping channel, I'm going to tell you, go there. Good information, good tips, good tools, good training, good thinking. He's had his act together, and he puts on an entertaining video as well. And, like I said, covers a broad range of subjects. So, if you haven't already, click subscribe. Definitely give me, Canadian Prepper, everyone, thumbs up on every video. Get yourself prepared, please. Chance favors the prepared mind. That's been my motto on this forever. Right? You have to decide what you're going to do. We just talk about ideas, but you have to do it. Prepare your mind. Okay? When an emergency happens, right, you may breeze through it if it's just a small one or even a big one. You may breeze through it and go, wow, good thing I was prepared. Yeah, no shit. People that aren't going to be prepared are going to be in heap big trouble. Please, if you believe anyone you know could learn from the information I presented here, click share. little share button down below the video there. You can send the link to this video through Facebook, through email, through messages, through text, through Twitter. I don't know, all kinds of stuff down there. But that should take care of it. That really should take care of this video. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.